Hello everybody and welcome to the MavLife Sports Report, brought to you by MavLife News, the student-run paper here on campus at La Costa Canyon High School. I'm Keith DeMolder along with my co-anchor Connor Hines. He'll be coming up shortly. Today we will be highlighting all the sports scores from this week, including girls tennis, volleyball, and field hockey, and boys water polo and football. But first, let's send it over to Connor Hines with the football scores.
Thanks, Keith. After a big 21-13 win against the Rancho Bernardo Broncos, the varsity squad was able to go into Vista and blank the 2-2 Panthers by a score of 17-0. What's important to note about the 17-0 shutout is that starting quarterback Duke Mackel was unfortunately out on the sidelines due to a nagging left knee injury. Fortunately, though, sophomore quarterback Tanner Clark was able to step up and lead the Mavericks to a solid road win.
The scoring started in the first quarter when Tanner Clark took a QB run from 39 yards out on a 2nd and 8 play for a Mavericks touchdown. The Mavericks attempted a field goal at the end of the first half, but unfortunately the kick sailed wide right. In the third quarter, Tanner Clark ended up giving the ball to Kay Jackson from a risky 4th and down play from the Vista 1-yard line. Kay Jackson ended up taking the ball into the end zone for another Mavericks touchdown. With 4:50 left in the fourth quarter, LCC ended up making a 38-yard field goal, giving them the win 17-0 over the Vista Panthers.
With the shutout win over Vista, the Mavericks are now 4-1. With this win, they moved up in the state rankings, boasting a 55 ranking in the state with 5 games remaining until the postseason begins. With a bye, the Mavericks varsity team have taken this week off to prepare before coming back to play the El Camino Wildcats next week in the LCC homecoming game.
Last week, the JV and freshman teams defeated Vista High School by a score of 21-0. Although JV has a bye this week, the freshmen took on Olympian High School and were defeated by a score of 14-7. Next week, the freshman team will take on El Camino High School on the road.
Girls varsity field hockey defeated Torrey Pines last Friday 2-1 in double overtime. LCC's own Paige Amico earned the win for the Mavericks as LCC won its 6th straight game, improving to 6-2. Unfortunately, though, the streak was snapped the very next day by Scripps Ranch in a 3-0 home contest taken by Scripps Ranch. The Mavericks then went to the Sarah High School tournament to take on Cathedral Catholic and were able to defeat the Dons 1-0. Against Sarah, the Mavs were not able to defeat the undefeated Conquistadors, losing by a score of 2-0. In a crosstown matchup, the Mavericks went into Canyon Crest Academy and beat the CCA Ravens by a score of 6-2.
Transitioning to boys water polo, the Mavericks were able to defeat Great Oak by a score of 15-6. Yesterday, they played against Santa Fe Christian on the road and were able to win that game by a score of 20-6. Tonight, they'll be taking on Long Beach Poly as they try to improve their record from 10-3.
Girls volleyball dominated on Tuesday over Rancho Bernardo, winning all 3 sets. The varsity team improves their record to 7-4 on the season, and they will take on Rancho Buena Vista next Thursday at RBV at 5 p.m.
On Monday, girls varsity tennis defeated Rancho Bernardo in a tournament by a score of 48-42. Yesterday against Carlsbad, they were able to improve their record to 13-1 with a 12-6 win over Carlsbad at home.
And finally, girls golf defeated El Camino on Tuesday at the Arrowwood Golf Club. They play against Carlsbad this Monday at 3 o'clock.
After a great week of sports action, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the MavLife Sports Report. For MavLife Sports, I'm Keith DeMolder.
And I'm Connor Hines.
Thanks.